Hey guys, Jason here with Bounce Wave Inflatable Sales. Wanted to take a minute or two to show you a couple of our units. I'm gonna bring this gentleman in just a minute. Brad Scully from Boston come down. These are actually his units, and he's got more in his U-Haul. And we're a little late on a couple of his units. Like I said, I'll always be honest with you, even if it's to a fault. I refuse just to tell lies. We are a little late on a couple of his units. He understands the situation. Hopefully the rest of you guys do. We're gonna work hard to get him as quick as we can. With that said, we do have some of them, at least enough to get him going and get him in the right spot. But I want to answer a few questions about weight. You know, on the forums, people want to just pull me in the mud a little bit about weight and that. And look, where it's warranted, I'm in. You know, you can get me on that where it's warranted. But let's actually, the part we don't do, the part we miss, is we don't actually look at the unit to see how they're built and maybe why there's a little more weight to one as opposed to the other. And I'll show you that very quickly here in just a few minutes. But with that said, I want to show you this Dinosaur really quick. One of the top renting units in the Southeast. I have them in my rental. They absolutely kill it. You get a lot more money for them. And when you look at the size of our bounce house, that's going to run almost 14 foot tall. As you can see, we do things a little bit different, a little bit bigger. Really nice sized Dinosaurs here. I would say these are probably 4 foot in stature. They look really good. You got the cones here just to make that whole Dinosaur feel come together. One of the few companies will add zippers in the Dinosaur, a zipper under the stair. And we're just going to do things differently. We're going to do things a little bit better. We're going to try and make it easier for our renters, right? Because when you're out in the field and the step doesn't deflate and these guys don't want to come down, that might take you an extra 7 minutes. And if you're out till 2 a.m. like we are, that makes a difference. So having everything put where it needs to be, all of our bouncers that have 2 basketball hoops in them. So they're going to be really nice setups. But let's get over to the slide. This is just as simple as it comes, a 15-foot Baja. It really shouldn't be fancy. We buy 15-footers. We throw them in our market as loss leaders, and it's just something that generally doesn't have much pizzazz. It's just something we buy to have something cheap to rent. As light as we can get it, and I get it. But I tell you, when I build, my mindset is from a rental standpoint, how do I beat the next guy? That's the number one thing that comes to mind. How do I beat a competitor? What do we do if we actually start to slow down in business? We run into a recession type setup. Hate to throw this out there, been around since 2005, so I did see 2008. Would we want stuff that looks a little different? Do we want our 15-footer to look better than the next guy's? Because now, people with money always have money and they'll always rent, right? They're gonna rent what's attractive. They're gonna rent what pops. They're gonna rent what looks good, right? So we've been through this COVID run last year where you could buy something at Walmart and rent it, and I get it, but it's not the norm. Don't get hung up in that. You better be able to compete. Our pieces will go in the market and compete every day of the week and win. They won't just compete, they'll win. And here's why. Just simply take a look. This is a 15-footer. So when we talk about weight, let's talk about it. Extra height on the bumper. 20-ounce vinyl pool liner. Slip liner's 20 ounces. Look at the size of the palm trees. Not the skinny little narrow palm trees. Look at the size of the palm trees. Why do I do that? I wanna make the unit look bigger than what it is. So when we blow it up, if that customer you went to for the first time last year rented to somebody else, and they rented a 15-footer for $225, and you brought them your 15-footer next year, you've just closed that door. That deal is done. They're not calling anybody else, never. You're gonna get the call every time because you're giving them something, you're exceeding expectations. You're not just going along to get along. You're exceeding the customer's expectations. If you continue to do that, you continue to grow. It's the key to success. So if we look at the palm tree, look at the base foot pads here. Not real small rig thing. Here's we can get it from the side. Now, naturally it may add a little weight, guys, but let's really look at it. What does it do to the unit? Look how big those bases. Well, it's gonna give it a lot more stability. That's kind of cool, right? Stability is good. But look how it makes it look like a four-wheel drive. Look how it stands up, stands out to make a 15-footer go as a 16 or so in your rental inventory.